Gervonta Davis gets knocked out. Jermall Charlo picks Ryan Garcia for the win. What's good, everybody? It's your boy, Cardinal Red Sports. Let's talk about it. Alright, y'all. So, the big homie Jermall Charlo gave his insight on the Ryan Garcia Gervonta Davis fight. I don't know what's going on with Jermall. I always say his name wrong, and then people clown me in the comment section because I said his name wrong. But hey man, Jermall, however you say it, Jermall Charlo. I don't know what's going on with him, man. Why is he so inactive? Why hasn't he, been in the ring more? I kind of feel like he's waiting on Earl Spence Jr., man. I think that even though they said they weren't not going to fight each other and they'll never fight each other, I think that's one of the biggest money fights out there. It might be a bigger money fight than even the Terrence Crawford fight for Earl Spence, but I think if he went with the Jermall Charlo fight, you can best believe you're not going to see Spence as a welterweight again. Well, as a 147 welterweight. I guess he'll be a super welterweight if he fights Jermall Charlo. But he gave his insight on the Ryan Garcia Gervonta Davis fight, and he gave some pretty interesting takes on the fight. He basically picked Ryan Garcia for the win, and his reasoning for picking Ryan was kind of weird. He didn't pick him because he thinks he's the better skilled fighter, or because he thinks Ryan possesses like quicker hands or a better ring IQ or something like that. He picked him because he likes the underdog. He said he roots for the underdog. I'm the same way. I go for the underdog. But if I really like a fighter, I'm gonna pull for my guy. I'm not gonna just pull for the underdog just because he's the underdog. But I would have to agree that in this scenario, Ryan Garcia is the underdog. Ryan Garcia is the guy looking to pull the upset here. And Jermall Charlo said he feels like if Ryan Garcia and it's funny because he said something about Sean Porter in the interview that because he was getting interviewed, and he said something about Porter in reference to Ryan Garcia, and it was funny, man. He basically said that if Ryan Garcia can close his eyes and score a out of nowhere knockout like Sean Porter did versus Erik Morales, that's his only shot of beating Gervonta Tank Davis. And it's funny he said that because if you watch Ryan Garcia, I think he put out like an Instagram post about, it might have been about a week and a half ago. It was like right after the second press conference. It was right after the second press where he's punching the mitts with his homie in the backyard. If you watch him while he's throwing those punches, I'll put it up here on the screen somewhere. His eyes are closed when he's throwing those punches. His eyes are closed when he's throwing those big power shots. So it's funny. I don't know if everybody does that. I like to see, I've never been across the ring from somebody, but I would like to see my opponent coming when I'm throwing a punch. I don't think I would want to close my eyes throwing a punch. But even when I'm messing with the heavy bag, I want my eyes to constantly be open to look for spots to counter, you know what I'm saying? Because I deal with the heavy bag in a way to where it's almost like sparring with the heavy bag. But even in training, he closes his eyes when he's throwing power shots. I mean, you can see it for yourself. It's kind of funny that that Jermall Charlo said that about Sean Porter, because to tell you the truth, I don't think I've ever even seen that fight where he knocked Erik Morales out. But Erik was already, I believe it was Erik Morales. I think he was already over the hill at that time, so it's not like maybe it might have been a big fight for Sean Porter at the time, but I think Erik Morales was already done at that moment. But it's funny that he said that that's Ryan Garcia's only shot is to land some miraculous shot to beat Gervonta Davis. I don't think that's his only shot. I think there is a element of, if he can put foot speed and hand speed together and overwhelm Davis with that, I think that's a key to victory. Or if he can utilize the ring like Curran did with Jerron Ennis, he could point his way to victory. With those fast hands, he could point his way to victory. So, that's 2 or 3 ways he can win the fight, and there's a lot of ways he could lose the fight. Ryan Garcia, I think, is basically going to have to pitch a shutout to win. And Jermall Charlo, he even though he picked Ryan, you can tell he knows that Gervonta Davis is the more talented out of the 2 guys. But like you said, it's fun to pick the underdog just in case the underdog does win and, pulls that upset. Then you can say, hey, I was riding with the underdog, you know what I'm saying? But in all reality, I think he realizes that Gervonta Davis is more talented, got the bigger punch. He's more poised as a boxer. He has the better ring IQ. He has more experience. He's been in the ring with better talent. I mean, what more could you say about you other than, he gets hit, sometimes. He allows himself to be hit. And I guess if Ryan Garcia was able to land some type of out-of-nowhere shot, he could possibly, knock Gervonta Davis out of nowhere. It would be a super-duper long shot, but you always got a puncher's chance in the sport of boxing. As far as Jermall Charlo goes, I wonder if he is actually waiting for Earl Spence. Because if he's waiting for Earl Spence once again, that means no more Crawford fight. If he goes from Keith Thurman into a Jermall Charlo fight, I mean, you can just kiss the Crawford fight goodbye. Unless Terrence Crawford decides that he wants to go up to 154, up to super welterweight himself, like he's going to leave 147 and not campaign there anymore. Because I think both of those guys they're dipping and dodging around Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis anyway, so it's only a matter of time before they run into that buzzsaw and one of them goes down and loses that O to either Boots or Virgil. Either that or they're going to leave the division. So y'all let me know what y'all think about all that down in the comment section below. Hit that like button for me, share, subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. More than likely to get a response on the tube, so holler at me over there. If you want to collabo, hit my Gmail, flockofcards@gmail.com. We are
Willie up boy Louis Keys, spitting game. The hoes get dames, I close and let flames out fofos. And they swallowing the ski, they be loving the meat, loving the beat. Niggas with beef, ducking the heat. I'm running the streets, spitting hot flows off top. Sicker than cough drops. When I start, y'all stop. Lick shots, hoes drop. I always been real, hitting like a bitch's brick, busting through your windshield. You're talking crazy, you shouldn't act so silly. I leave your head cracked like at Bell in Philly. But it's no brotherly love, just mothers with hugs. Cause her son's under the rug with one in his mug. Look at Lou Dash down with red and blue flags. Better move fast, leave you looking like you chew glass. If we do clash, when I'm out for my pay, it'll get ugly, nigga, so let's get out my way. I said if you's a pimp made nigga, just like me, you's about your figures. Never see me stressing out over women. Either get up out your clothes or hit the door. I said if you was a pimp made nigga, just like me, you's about your figures. Never see me stressing out over women. Either get up out your clothes or hit the door, bitch. I'm off for the chain, ain't no leash on me. And bitches be like, E, get that ski off me. Y'all boys jealous, y'all wanna put that heat on me. But y'all head get bust off T.O.P. Call the C.O.P.s, the neighborhood OGs. Anybody you please, ain't nobody stopping keys. Stay out for my currency, always out for my chips. And I don't trust shit, you step, you get